Hello, it's Cindy Fodor here with Stamp the Love, and it is Make It Monday. And I'm so excited to be here to show you some of the projects that we're doing in our February class this month. So you will be able to earn a packet of these projects with any order of $40 or more. And of course, February is still celebration, so you can also earn free celebration items with every $50 purchase. So you want to keep that in mind as you place your order. So I'm going to try to go through this really quickly because it is 4 projects and I know that gets a little long. You can fast forward to ones that you like, or you can rewind if you're doing your packet and watching this video so that you can do the projects in your packet that you've earned. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, just a reminder, here's the host code. If you want to place an order for these March projects that you're going to see tonight. And I also wanted to announce before I start that the winner from last week's drawing was Ruth Myers. And Ruth gets the card that I made last week with the bookmark in it. And so Ruth, I'll be sending that to you. So I just wanted to give you a view of all the cards together, because I know sometimes when I send out the videos to those of you that order online, maybe you have to watch through the whole thing to get all the cards. So thought I'd just give you a quick overview of all of the cards here really quick, just the different fun folds that you're going to experience. And then we'll get started and show you all of them in detail. First card that I want to show you is this one, and this is done with a gorgeous stamp set bundle that has a punch and a stamp set. I always have trouble getting these stamp sets to show up with my shiny lights, but anyways, so you'll see that in use in a second. And this is all part of a bundle. I'm actually using the other stamp set for some of the words. But I just got it recently, so I didn't have that stamp set yet. And I just want to show you other things that are in this suite so that you can check those out as well. This beautiful cane embossing folder, which I don't have anything embossed, but it looks like this designer paper, if you can see that. And then, of course, this Regency Park gorgeous paper. And I did another video, I think it was for my team, and I'm going to try to post it here. If I can get that done, I will try to link it in the description. And then these adhesive back Milky Dots. And they, when you first look at them, you're like, okay, but I've really enjoyed using these. It's just something a little different. It's not pearls, they're still shiny, but they're just really cool. It's almost looking at those cars that are now, that almost look like chalk paint. And it's like, okay, I would have never thought that I would like that, but I do actually like the look of those. Okay, so just to introduce you to the where it is in the catalog, it's on page 30. And there's lots of ideas here, and you'll see both of those sets, both of those bundles are shown here. And the other item that I didn't show you, and it's here on my table somewhere, is the denim ribbon. And it's a nice fine ribbon. It's easy to tie. It's not a heavy like our past denim ribbon. So it's really nice to work with. Very good ribbon. Okay, so let's get started. Let me get things out of the way we don't need. I do have my stamps out already. We'll be using the punch. I'm going to grab my mat here. I feel like maybe my camera is a little off. Okay, so I'm using, the colors are Balmy Blue, Night of Navy, and Crushed Curry. So for our yellow. Oh, I did forget my punch. Oh, well, we can do that by hand. Okay, so what I did was I took an 8.5 by 11, scored it at 4 1/4, and then I cut off 1.5 inches from the one side so that I would have this here. And then I don't know what happened to my designer paper. Oh, actually, it might be here. Here it is. It's with the designer pack. I cut a 1-inch strip, so we're just going to cut that down to 5 1/4 inches to fit on there. Right now it's 1 by 6 because it's a 6 by 6 pack of paper. Okay, so let's go ahead and get that glued in place. I can't remember who I saw this idea, this color combination online, and I really liked how that looked. Let's go ahead and grab, we're going to get our flowers stamped. Let me put this here so that you can see what I'm working on. We're going to go ahead and get these flowers stamped, and just going to use Night of Navy. The other thing that I forgot to do, I just threw these stamps on here and I didn't think about it, but I do like to set this up so that it lines up with this on my paper. So what I usually do, and I show that in the other video, but is make sure that it's about square with my block here, okay? So that when I go to stick that in my punch, I don't have to be cutting off paper and stuff like that. And I'm going to waste an image here and then stamp that on my, I got to remember this is the edge I'm going straight with. Okay, and then next I have the inside part of the stamp, which I think I have lined up pretty good just by throwing it on there. And we're going to ink that with crushed curry. My pad is a little bit dry. I'm going to scoot this back here just so I can hopefully see straight down. You want to be straight on top of this when you go to line up. I love that this lines up almost perfectly. If you've had some of our stamps that are like, they're whimsical, they're not supposed to line up perfectly, and you don't care for that look, you'll like this because they do line up perfectly. Okay, I'm done with that. That yellow definitely needs some help. It has that film on it, and that's why I didn't get as much color, which disappoints me a little bit. But what I need to do is re-ink this and just do what I usually do is I'll put some ink on here, and then I will just take, I like these paper pumpkin and kit. Yeah, I can't think of words this morning. Yeah, these blocks, these acrylic blocks, and I just move the color around. And even in doing this, I can see, I don't know if you could see it on camera, but I can see that film releasing. So it makes me wonder if I can even get better color just by, without even adding ink to that. I'm going to go ahead and try to stamp this again because it's not that hard to do. It looks like a lot more color on there now. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, so getting rid of that film was very helpful. Okay, so let's, while we're stamping, let's go ahead and stamp our Thinking of You. And this comes from the other bundle of the Sentimental Park. And that's going to be in navy. So I'm going to just do it on the edge here. I want to cut an angle so I don't want it too close to the edge. And I'm just going to clean that a little bit because I'm not going to take time to wash that right now. And then on our other piece, we're going to stamp, scoot that over here. I'm going to go ahead and stamp my U down here at the bottom because I want to make sure I have plenty of space for that. All right. And then we have this large one. Now this has the inside part that you can stamp as well, but you can see on our card here that we're not using that part. Okay, we're just doing this in a blue, just as a bit of a background. And I am going to waste that image as well. And then we'll get that stamped on here. Oh, I want to turn this way. I don't want this little flower over there. I forgot to turn my phone off because I was just going to do this really quick, right? Sure. Okay. So now we have that stamped. See how pretty that is stamped off? It almost looks like a denim color. All right, let's go ahead and get these in here. We'll get them punched out. And I could have cut my paper a little bit bigger, but I was being stingy. So now I have to, I brought some Post-it notes in here because I wanted to show you how just a little Post-it note can help you when your paper is not quite as long or wide as you would like it to be. Now I can use this, get my hand in here again, and now I can use this Post-it note to move this around to where I need it to be. And what I do is I just hold it, I lightly squeeze it until I get it exactly where I want it, and then I punch it out. And then this is nice because I can reuse that piece. Okay, so we are ready to put things together here. Let me just scoot this stuff out of the way so that we can see. We've got our flowers. We've got our stamped images. I did forget to bring my punch for doing this tag, so I'm just going to do that by hand because y'all know how to use that, right? And there we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this, let me get my card back here. Let's go ahead and put this down first. I don't see my bone folder. Now I want to remember that this is getting centered, but it's not going to glue the whole way down. So what I'm going to do first is just put some adhesive right here, and then I will go ahead and put some adhesive on this side, and then I can center this like I want it, maybe, and then press that down, and that will be good to go. The next piece I want to put on is this piece, and I'm not going to glue this down because I just realized that I want to run this through this embossing folder. So let's do that first, and I don't have my big machine in here, but I do have my little one, so give me 2 seconds. And in case you were wondering why I didn't go ahead and use the mini is 3.5 inches wide, and this is over 4 inches. So this is 4.5 inches. So I did have to do this on my regular cut and emboss machine. And ooh la la, if I can get it out of here, that's going to be really pretty. I think that's really going to add to that. I'm going to go ahead and use green glue to put that down. I'm also going to remember that this is sticking out as well, so I don't want glue to go out the whole way. And of course, with all of our embossing folders, you get to choose which side you want. So this is the keen looking side. This is the back of that, but that gives you a really nice geometric pattern. It reminds me of math for some reason, like in geometry. I'm going to use the keen part, and we're going to use this glue because this is a 3D folder, so they make the cardstock a little bit difficult for our seal to actually adhere to. It likes to pull the paper up, and I'm going to just stick that right there. All right, now we're ready for this piece, and we will go ahead and use our seal on that. And there we go. And then we're going to pop up, let's see, do I have any big dimensionals? Yeah, there's a couple in here. I'm going to go ahead and pop up our flowers here. And you can see where it left holes so that you can put your flowers there. So that's very cool. Stick one here. And then I will take a baby dimensional for this one. When you're just getting them started, they're a little tricky to get one out and not a couple. And then we'll put that one up there. Okay, we're almost done. We need to get our thinking of you on here. So I'm going to just give that a little snip, snip. And we will go ahead and put, you know, I like the edges of these dimensionals for long pieces like this. So I will just snip a piece of that. It's always easier to cut it while the cover is still on it so that you don't have glue everywhere. And then I just want to tuck this underneath that flower a little bit. I want to get it nice and straight, and then I'll press that down. Okay, last but not least, we have some gems to put on. Let me just get these closed. And I'm going to use the blue ones out of here. I just want to open this up because you never get to see the top part. And they are very cool as well. But I'm going to use the blue for this card. And again, this is, I guess I just want one large one. I want to use these tiny ones for the smaller flower. And there you go. Now you have a nice space right here to write your message. And I'm so excited about that, remembering to do that background on there, because I hope you can see how much nicer that makes that. So thank you for checking out this bundle. I think it's fun. It's beautiful. If you like punches that are quick and easy, I like that it has the option of punches or dies, and that they go together nicely, so you can use both if you like both. A couple more ideas with this set. Here's another project I have for class this month, and I have been so excited about this stamp set. I don't know, maybe it's the kid in me, maybe because I know that my kids would like this, my grandkids would like this, and so I'm excited about Taco Fiesta. I think it's so well done. It is a $1 Million Achiever design by Erica Serwin, who's an amazing stamper. And yeah, I think it's really cute. I will show you where it's found in the mini catalog. It's on page 48, so you can check it out there. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm also using this designer paper, is one of our celebration big packs. That's the $100 purchase. Been using that a ton. I also have some Balmy Blue and some of our it might be retired. I think it was in the holiday catalog. Let me check here really quick, because I should have checked that ahead of time. I don't think that it's in the annual catalog, just because of where it was in my paper stack. I keep the holiday catalog separate usually, and the annual separate from the minis. Let me just flip back here to the designer papers real quick and make sure. So I could use this one, which would go nicely, or I might switch out. I just wanted something red, so whatever you have that's red you can pull out. But yeah, that pattern is not available anymore. That was in the holiday catalog, but I wanted a little bit of red to go with our red rhinestones, which was my daughter's cute accent. So this card was put together by Barb Rocker when she was over working with me the other day. We were stamping together, having a good time. And so, and of course we keep touching it up, you know how that goes. You're always find other things to add. So I'm going to pull in, I'm going to do some stamping using Memento, because we're going to color with blends. This does not have any dies or punches or anything with it. And so I wanted to do something for class that didn't include a ton of coloring, but you're going to see some ideas that you're going to want to do that do take some coloring, but they're so cute. Like, it's like you'll definitely want to try them. Now I'm going to stamp this on my scrap paper here, because I'm going to cut him out after we color. And then I did forget one thing. I forgot to get the faces out. How could I forget the faces? Let me grab those. Let's see, we need a mustache. Okay, mustache and a smiley face. Okay, let's do those two. I hope those are the same as we have on here. And we'll put this on this little guy. And then I'll stick this one on here. And they will be ready to party. Okay, let's go ahead and add some color to those. And we're going to use, this is soft crumb cake, I'm sorry, light and dark crumb cake. So I'm going to start out with my light. And you could use any medium. You could use colored pencils. That would be great for this one if you don't have blends. if I haven't like converted you to use blends yet. All right, let's just do a touch of the dark right here under the flap. I see my dark one is my bad one, and I do have those on my order. The tip is bad on that, and so it's a little hard to get it to. And I just want to blend this out a little bit so that it's not just a plain old line there. That's why I like to do the light color first, because then it's wet and the blending goes a lot easier. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to grab my Daffodil Delight, and let's do this guy. You can see I'm not taking a lot of care in coloring this. I really think that the stamp itself does the amazing part here because it's so cool. And then we'll just do a little bit of the dark So Saffron around the edges. And again, just going to blend that in a little. Okay, now we need some lettuce. So let's get our, let's see, we have Granny Apple Green, dark and light. Make sure, always have to make sure I have the right colors. And I'm going to go ahead and do the light on this one. You really don't have to shade with these if you don't want to. I'm going to give you the shading option just so that if you like shading, you can. So, of course, you know that the darker part is where something's going to be in front of it. Okay, so we're going to just shade that. I'm not going to blend that because I think that looks fine like it is. And then I'm going to go ahead. This one is not going to need really a lot of shading, but... And I'm running out of the lines. Oh my goodness. Stop rushing, Cindy. Just stamp the thing. Okay. Let me go ahead and just do a little shading along the edges here. I can't stand the line regular, so I don't know why I'm trying to add this. Okay. Oh, this one wants me to shade him too. And I will blend that one just a tad because I see too much line. And I'm using the other tip. If I want to press it and really get it out of the way, and the other tip always seems to be a little lighter to me. And so it is nicer for blending. And then it doesn't ruin your other softer tip if you use the hard tip for blending. All right, let me cut this really quickly. You know how I hate cutting in front of an audience. I'm going to go ahead and cut that closer since my blends were running out of the line just a tad. You don't have to cut it this close if you don't want to. Oops. Ooh, my scissors are nice and sharp today. Let me get rid of that. See how I'm turning the paper and not the scissors, not this hand. You always have to hold the scissor hand where it's comfortable for you to have the most control while you're cutting. All right, so there we got that. Let's go ahead and put this all together. This is going to get popped up, but before we do that, I want to add a little bit of sponging on the edge with our sponge brushes. And if you haven't checked out the catalog where we have the new holder for the sponge, I might have to show that to you because I don't want to bring it in here. I like to put that in place and it stays. But I don't know where it's at. So let me look back here in the back and see if I can find it's on page 67. and it's fabulous. If you hate your brushes touching each other before you clean them or whatever, it's really nice. It has little legs that you glue to the bottom. They're sticky. They raise it about 1/4 of an inch. And then there's little holes in the bottom of this as well where this end sits down in and keeps them from falling over. So really nice. It fits right on top of my Stampin' ink pad storage container, which I love that it fits there. So just thought you might like to know that. All right. I just want to get a little bit around the outside edges. Just to set it off a little bit. It's hard to tell when you have enough, so stop and pick it up. Maybe lay it on the piece you're going to put it on and then go, is that good? And I think that's good. So let's go ahead and close this and get this card put together. Now I have one more step yet. I want to use an embossing folder that I don't touch very often, but when I think of tacos, I think Mexican, I think Spanish, I think other languages that I don't know, and I like this embossing folder. I'm going to show you here in the catalog, and you probably missed it. It's page 177. Excuse me. It's called Thanks and Hello, and it has hello in all different languages, and then it has thanks, danke, in all different languages. Okay, so it is a small folder, so it will fit in our mini cut and emboss machine. So we're just gonna go ahead and pull our new boho blue one over here so that you can see how cute it is, and I can remind you that you can get this for free during celebration when you join Stampin' Up! As a demonstrator. It's just a great time to get all of the things that you want, and then be able to share with your friends what you love to do, and they will love that they can order from you. So I always put the fold first, and I want to show you this first. So this says, I should read it myself. So it says, embossing folders, put insert hinge first, use with standard embossing folders, and it says 3 and 1. So I obviously have too many folders, or too many plates, because it's only a 3 and a 1. So here's 3, here's, whoops, that's 2. Oh, yeah, that doesn't work. Let's get 1. It really helps when you read directions. So there's 1. Going to put my folder between that. Put 3 on top. And we are going to be ready to go. I don't like to put my words out because I don't want those words to rub off. So I'm just going to turn that over. And then we'll run this through. These plates are very different than the big full-size Mama Bear embossing folder. So you do have to read the directions and do that right. I did a video where I showed, I know that this says that you're supposed to use one plate 1 for die cutting, but we found out that if you use the number 3 instead of 1, it actually will slide through it a little easier. And I'm not really sure why, except that it might be just, excuse me, just a hair thinner. So here we go with this, and let's go ahead and get our layers together. I haven't decided exactly how I want this because you saw the original design, and I just wanted to play with it a little bit. I do want my words to show, and let's see what this looks like. They're all 4 inches wide. They're each a little bit different in width, and let's see what that looks like with our green. I think I like the original where we have this one on top this one in the middle, and this one on the bottom. So it changes up a little bit what we originally designed, but, ooh, and I like that too. That's really cool. I don't know. Boy, I'm having trouble. I might use that one. That'll be a little different, and then you can choose which side you want when you make your card. Just a reminder, you can get these 4 projects that I'm showing you for February free when you use the host code that I will have. I can put that up for you right now. Let me see. The host code that's right there. And then you can get these projects for free. Now, if your order's over $150, go ahead and take that host code off in the checkout so that you don't, so that you can get the hostess benefits yourself. Unless, of course, you're in a host club and you don't use the host code I'm showing you right there. You have a special host code for your order. But that way you can get the host benefits. This will connect it to my host order for the month. For those orders that aren't clear up to $150 or more. All right. Let's see how this looks now. I'm going to go ahead and glue this flat because we are popping up the taco, the soft taco. So pop that on there, and then we'll add some dimensionals to him. Get a couple on here. Trying to make a hole big enough so that I can get my finger in there and get these little guys. All right, so there's the soft shell and the hard shell, and then we have to embellish with some of our red rhinestones. Another little hidden gem in the catalog, so in case you missed it, we do have these back. Trying to decide where to put them is always fun, right? All right, so there we go with just a fun, it would be a great kid card or just something where you want to just be excited about sending a card to a friend. I'll bring in the original one that I don't have completely put together either because we were playing with some different design paper. I want to show you another option too. Let me just pull this out and show you this option without the red. So maybe you could just post in the comments which your favorite is. And here are a few more taco ideas because I didn't want to miss showing you how fun this set is. For class, I tried to keep it really simple because I know some of you don't love to color, but for those of you that like to color, this set has so much potential. And this doesn't even like touch the top of the barrel. Like there is so much you can do with this taco set if you like that look. This card I want to highlight our beautiful floral paper from Celebration. Just get a hand free so I can get the plastic off of here. And just remind you that you can get favored flowers for free when you place a $50 order. And there are nice geometric designs on the back, floral prints on the front. Really beautiful pack of paper. Of course, you've seen me use that several times. But I wanted to do a fun fold for you for this month. So it's really easy. It is a faux sidestep card. And we are going to use our Simply Scored today and get this scored. So this is 5.5 by 8.5. I'm scoring it at 3 1/4, 6.5, 7.5. And I will tell you, I didn't use a pattern for this. It's pretty easy. If I take a whole sheet of paper, I wanted 1 inch here, 1 inch here, and then whatever was left, I scored in half. So that's basically the idea behind this. And then for this piece, this is 3.5, I believe 3.5 inches wide. And I wanted this to be 4¼ because that's the, this is 5½ here. So I want this to be 4¼ just giving you some ideas on how to come up with these things. And so I took a piece that was, well, I measured 4¼ plus what would I need to come back down to meet on the back here. And that ended up being 1¼ inch. So that means this is 5½ inches, if you can see there. Okay, so that also gets scored at 4¼ All right, so the next thing was I wanted something fun with this black piece in the center, and you can see some shimmers there. So I'm going to do that next. We're going to emboss that with this background that I don't think I've used it yet with you. So I'm just leaving it right in the case like I usually do. We're gonna just put some embossing buddy all over the black piece here and try not to touch all over it. Well, I'm only embossing the front part. And then I'm just going to use Versamark and ink up this top portion here. And then I'm just going to lay the fold there. I touched it. I'm going to lay the fold right down on the top of that and just rub it. That ink transferred over. And get this out of the way. And then we'll put some powder. I'm just using clear powder. I just want it to be shiny. I didn't want a pattern that was going to take away from all of our floral design in this card. There, I see there's a spot where I probably rubbed my hand across, or may have touched the paper down before I was supposed to. Sometimes these little brushes come in handy. And I don't want any on the back, so I'm just going to scoot that off of there. All right, I think that looks good. Let's go ahead and heat that. I did not preheat this, so give me a second. Alright, there we go. Okay, let's go ahead and get our folds together. Let me show you what else, before I do that, what else I have. I have a 3-inch piece to go in here, 3 inches by 5¼ and then I have a 1-inch piece for the front. I also have this piece cut out from that paper. Now, you can cut this out by hand, but I did buy the coordinating bundle, and that's the stamp set. It's called Fragrant Flowers. And I used the die to cut these out. So that saved me some time. All right, so let's go ahead and stick these on here. It's going to be really hard to decide if you want flowers or geometric pattern, but because I have these flowers for the front, I don't want it to take away from that. So I'm recording this quickly before I head to Chambersburg to help make pies for the wedding. They're having pies instead of cakes, so we're making personal pies for everybody. So that should be fun, right? All right, to put this back piece on, I'm going to go ahead and fold this. Wow, I even scored that, and it's still, that black really can be finicky. I don't know, I don't have any sanding blocks in here, but I do have a fingernail file. I don't know if that will do the trick for that. But if you have a regular sanding block, you can just shave away those pieces that are sticking up. This fingernail file is pretty well used and abused. All right, so to put this on, I'm going to put adhesive here at the bottom. And for the back, because I probably should have made it an extra 1/2 inch instead of 1/4. I don't have a lot that's overlapping, so I'm just going to put a little bit of green glue on there. So let me go ahead and line. I didn't turn my phone off. Of course, I thought this early in the morning, nobody will be texting me or calling me. So I'm going to sit that down there nice and flat, and then I'm just going to flip this over and press that down, because you want to make sure it's going to be laying flat so that you can put it in your envelope. Okay, so that's it. Let's get this on the front. I'm just going to throw some adhesive on here. This is going to overlap a bit. And you know what? I forgot to bring a purple in to stamp my friend. So I'm going to just show you that. I'm going to stamp this in purple. Probably Rich Razzleberry, and I remember it wasn't out there whenever I got this stuff together. So anyways, so there will be a choice of purple or the poppy, because these are the two colors on the paper, and there are only 6 on each sheet, so it took quite a few sheets to get enough for my whole class. So I definitely wanted to use up both of those. All right, I hope that you enjoyed that fold. I know I've already showed you, if you watched the video from last week, you saw all the cards that I did with this paper, but just in case you didn't see that, I just want to pop in here. Now some of these are done with the stamp set and bundle, and with our great shimmery paper. And yeah, our next project is this Heartfelt Sympathy card. This is done with the Seaside Bay bundle, and you're going to love this. I decided to coordinate it with our embossing folder from our other seashell bundle. Happiness is something, I believe. Anyways, I decided to use those together and made this this fun opening card with a little flap. And let's get started. Excuse me. I'm going to start out with by stamping the bird, and I have it set up on my, I couldn't see this, it was right next to me. I have it set up on my Stamparatus, so all I have to do is die cut all my birds, and I have it in here. And I wanted to do him sort of, let me show you the designer paper. There's some in here that you can die cut out, and I was afraid that there wouldn't be enough. Let me see if I can find it. See, that's what happens. I turn my phone off, but then my computer still dings. That's lovely. I can't find, oh, there it is. So there's a couple in here, and I like how they have the variated colors on them, but I didn't want to be confined to that many on a piece. So throw that in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink this with crumb cake. We're going to do a couple fun things with this. Let me scoot this over here so that you can see. So I'm just using a crumb cake ink spot here to ink this up. And then I'm just going to take my, you know, I don't have the right markers. That's lovely. Okay. Well, I used some balmy blue, and I didn't bring that in. I brought crumb cake instead. I must have left it lay, but I'm just gonna do some edges here and some of the feathers. Just do a little bit of outlining with navy, just to give it a little bit more interest. And let's go ahead and stamp that. We can stamp it again if we want some more color. Let's see if that's good. Oh, that's pretty nice. I think that's good. I'm actually going to take my sponge dauber with some crumb cake and just color him in. Let me take him off of here so I don't mess up my template. Scoot it over here, and then we can... I don't want too much color, so I'm trying to stay a little light. I just wanted to color him in so he doesn't look like a sick bird. And don't mind his eye for now because we're going to do something fun with his eye. So I didn't add color there because we don't need it. All right, let me get this out of the way. While we're doing all the heavy lifting stuff, let's go ahead and emboss the designer paper. So I cut a strip, I think it's 2 inches, and I adhered that to the front of my crumb cake cardstock. And I'm going to run that through this embossing folder all together. And I did find that I like a little more oomph, so I'm putting some scrap paper on top of that. So this is a 3D folder, so I just need to pop off all 3 of the top pieces here and use my 3D number 4, okay? And then we'll run that through, get this going. Okay, that definitely felt like there was enough oomph there. So I think we're good. All right. That is so pretty. Look at all that depth now. Okay. All right, so we have that done. Let's next do our little flap. So this is 4 inches by 1 3/4. I wanted to make sure that it fit in this punch. This is our fancy, I think it's called Label Me Fancy. And I'm going to go ahead and slide this in here. You can go either way, but I don't want to cut the bottom out. I'm only cutting this top piece. So I'm going to just pull this back here till I see the top. And I'm going to line that up between, I want it very centered. So make sure I'm at the edge. All right. And now I have this really cool decorative edge. Ways to use your punches for more than just a tag. And we do need to score this. And I think because of the type of paper it is, I am going to score it if I can get it out from underneath my Stamparatus. And I just want like 1/4 of an inch on the back, I believe. Yeah, maybe 3/8. Okay. All right, so now we're ready to go ahead and put this card together. Actually, there's a little more stamping. Let me do one more thing, 2 more things. On the inside, I want to stamp this little little thing of shells. And that's just going to go on the white piece that goes on the inside, okay? And then one more thing. I want to stamp the saying for the front. Then we have another punch to punch that out. I'm going to use the heartfelt sympathy. There are a couple different greetings in this set. Actually, maybe I should use a thank you for this one, so I have a different idea for you. Let's grab another block here. Actually, I'm not sure that this is going to fit in my punch. Maybe that's why I didn't use that one. We'll see. We'll punch that with our other Label Me Something die. Can't remember the names of them. Yeah, that fits good. Okay. Go ahead and glue this to the inside. And then I think we'll get this put on the front. It's a little tricky when you put the bird and the tag on, because you definitely want to be able to use the closure. The bird's going to be the closure on it. So it's a little tricky. All right. Now, Birdie, you're going to go something like this, and I'm going to use dimensionals on him. So let me, I got all kinds of dimensionals sticking to each other. I'm going to go ahead and put 2 down. I'm keeping them at the bottom because I want the top to be free moving. Okay. So I think it's safe to go ahead and stick him in place. And then I'm going to put adhesive. And actually, do I have any tear and tape in here? I always have tear and tape in here. All right, I'm going to use glue dots. Just because this is bumpy, I feel like using regular Seal Plus is going to be a little bit tricky at getting that to stay. I think did I get one on my finger? No. So I'm going to take 3 of these and put them across the back. I'll probably use tear and tape in class because that'll be easy to put on and it will stay well. All right, now I'm going to place this in place first because I have to make sure that's under the bird. And then I'm just going to fold this back around and press it in so that it's in close to the card as far as I can. And voila, there you go. And then we're just going to glue this. And I think I cut the edges of this off. If you like that idea better, you can trim that off. I think this is fine, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that in place. And then we just have some pretty embellishments to put on here. And I'm using, these are called Enamel Dot Essentials. Well, I thought I had one open. This is the open one, I guess. There we go. I guess I didn't cut it open. You know how I usually cut these edges just so that I don't have to open them up for... It's quick and easy. It's like just a little pocket that protects them from getting knocked off, but I don't have to. Now, usually these enamel things don't slide as well with the Take Your Pick tool, so I am going to pick them up with my with the tip here. Maybe. And then this guy's going to get an eye. I used the tiny one for that. And then let me see if I can get this to slide. Nope. Nope, they don't slide. I don't know why. Why is that different? Is the adhesive different? I haven't figured out why, but they definitely... And I scratched it when I did that. That was not smart. And let's use the medium tan one for up here. So there we go. We've used our dots in a... Well, they were necessary for the eye, but the rest is just embellishment. And then we have our card. Okay, that is it for that card. I do have some ideas to show you with that. Let me scoot these over here. So my friend Barbara made these cards for me. I commissioned her to make me some samples so I could show you because I didn't have time to do them all, but they're beautiful cards. Here's one of those birds that's cut out from the paper. And then this one uses the large shell, and I put it on the Stamparatus and made a flower out of it. So just to show you some other ways to use your stamps. All right, I hope that you enjoyed that. And I just remember that at the top here, right up here, I have the host code that you need to use at stampandcindy.stampinup.net if you would like these cards. Minimum $40 order. Of course, you'll want to bump it to $50 so you can get some free things, and even $100 if you want more free things. So whatever you want to use. If your order hits $150, make sure you don't use the host code because you'll actually get some host benefits yourself. So you don't need to use that host code, and you will still get the cards. All right. Have a great week. Next week, just a little reminder, next week you will get to see the February cards. I know it's backwards. It's just whatever I was able to get done in time to do this week's video. So since they're both going to be done on the same day, same week of classes, I wasn't too worried about which one came first. So March came first. You didn't miss February. It's coming next week. Next Monday, come back for February.